Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Now, a future star, superstar, very skilled, who has, in my opinion, the potential to be like a pound-for-pound star, if marketed right, Terence Crawford. Now, he doesn't have an opponent yet, but you guys seen the clip at the beginning. He's fast at work. He's working. He's saying he's coming back May 20th. Which is good, and really there's not much to complain about Crawford. I really don't see how people don't like him. Like, you know what I mean? Terence Crawford, he's American. He had an amateur background with significant wins over guys like Mikey and Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia's cousin, right? And as a pro, he showed you how good he is. He beat Gamboa, the only person to beat Gamboa, who at the time was undefeated, an Olympic gold medalist, gave him issue in the first 5-6 rounds. He's fighting actively. He fought last year Hank Lundy, Victor Postal, and after Canelo lost the December 10th date due to injury, and then Golovkin and Jacobs couldn't hash it out, so they dropped out of the December 10th. He took the date and made a fight with an Al Haymon fighter against John Molina, puncher. Anytime you have punching power, if you land that punch, you know what I mean, if you're not careful, then it's going to be a danger to the opponent. So you have to be, even fighters like Crawford and Mayweather who make it look easy, it's not, because John Molina, he shows time and time again, sometimes he could play spoiler, and you know what I mean, if you get in there reckless or make a mistake, then you can get clipped with something. That's just the reality of fighting a puncher. So he's fighting actively. He looks like he's down to fight whatever or whoever, and I like him. Now, as far as his situation, his legal trouble with the auto body dealership, I don't know what's going on, because I thought he had to go to jail, but I don't think he ever went. So maybe the court dismissed it or something. But it's good to see him back in May, right around the time where he fought Victor Postal last year. And Bob Arum, his promoter of Top Rank, is mentioning 3 names, and I like all of them. He's saying Amir Imam. In case you guys don't know, Amir Imam is a Don King fighter, and he's rated #1 mandatory for Terence Crawford within the WBC. He lost to Adrien Granados, who is another candidate. Bob Arum is saying Adrien Granados. He likes what Granados did, and it's always a tough fight. I guess he watched the Broner-Granados fight. I covered that fight live. It was a good fight. I thought Broner beat him, but it was a competitive fight for sure, and I like Granados' early work, but I think Broner made some adjustments and later revealed that he had a messed up hand. So close fight, but it was still a tough fight, tough as nails, gritty performance from both. And the third person he's mentioning is Felix Diaz, but Bob Arum, the way he's talking about Felix Diaz, I really feel like that's a name he's throwing out, because Felix Diaz has called out Terence Crawford, but based on what else he said about Diaz, I feel like that's not what he's interested in making. And Bob Arum said something to the effect of Felix Diaz makes fights boring except for his fight with Sammy Vasquez, which I think people got to get off of this boring and exciting thing. Like, from what I've seen, I haven't really seen Felix Diaz in boring fights. I thought his fight with Sammy Vasquez was action-packed. He had Vasquez, who was undefeated at the time. He had his face leaking, and he was a late replacement to Luis Collazo, right? And then Vasquez obviously later ended up fighting Collazo like he was supposed to, and he got stopped by Collazo. But Felix Diaz was in an exciting fight. I thought he pushed Lamont Peterson. Peterson didn't look particularly great. I don't know if it was the weight cut, but it was like a half and half fight where both fighters did good in spots. It was a tough fight. I only watched that fight once, and I remember it being an exciting fight, and I gave a slight edge to Peterson. I was content with him winning, but I think he maybe faded and Felix Diaz came on, if I remember correctly. But bottom line, I haven't seen Felix Diaz in boring fights, and he's been calling out Terence Crawford several times. So I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I don't mind seeing the other two options too, Amir Imam and Adrien Granados. People got to get over this. Because you lost to guy A, then you can't ever fight, or you're someone's leftovers. Because Granados fights a certain style in a certain way, right? That doesn't mean because he beat Amir Imam that Crawford will easily beat him. Amir Imam is still a good fighter. He still has power. He's still athletic. He bounced back with the win, a stoppage win since the Granados fight, and he has freakishly long arms. I think his arms are listed at 74 inches, which is, for his height, 5'10" and a half in his division. Those are long arms. That's longer than Floyd Mayweather's arms at welterweight, and Floyd is known for having long arms. So that's really a good fight. And he's the #1 mandatory within the WBC for Terence Crawford. So I really like that fight. Or give it to Granados. You know what I mean? I like that fight also. He's the one that beat Amir Imam, gave Adrien Broner a run for his money. But in fact, that list of that short list of 3 is the only real fights that I can really want to see, that I can even think of wanting to see Terence Crawford in, because he's such a skilled fighter. I've covered a couple of his fights, and I mean, the boy is skilled. So I mean, those are really the only interesting fights for him at 140, those 3 names. I would say Ricky Burns versus Indongo, that would be a justified fight at 140 because it'll be a champion. And let's say Indongo knocks out Ricky Burns, then he deserves a Crawford shot. Or let's say Ricky Burns beats or stops Indongo, who just stopped Crawford's previous mandatory, Troy Yanofsky, then he deserves a rematch with Terence Crawford, period. But aside from that, the winner of that fight or Adrien Broner, those are really the only 3 names that I can even think of that would even be probably competitive or sellable fights for Terence Crawford. Granados, Amir Imam, or Felix Diaz. If not, Broner, which we know that probably is not happening. Plus, Broner said he's moving up to 147. And then, like I said, the Indongo, Ricky Burns winner. But aside from that, those are the real only tests that are out there for him. And you can't fault Terence Crawford or force him to move up a division 4 fights in or whatever he is when he can comfortably make the weight just because he's so skilled, you know what I mean? So I like Crawford. I like that he's staying active, and hopefully they narrow down the selection and announce it soon who he's going to be fighting. But I think Granados could be a good fight. Amir Imam could be a good fight for him. Felix Diaz. So I'm liking the short list from Bob Arum. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.